America just spent $20 billion building the most advanced fighter jet on Earth. The F-47 is real. It is revolutionary, and it is already being made obsolete. Not today, not tomorrow, but right now in classified research facilities and defense laboratories across America, China, and Europe. Engineers are quietly working on what comes after 6th generation, and the concepts being developed are so far beyond what the F-47 represents that comparing them feels like comparing a jet fighter to a World War II propeller plane. Today, we are breaking down 7 game changers that will define 7th generation air combat. Some of what you are about to hear is further along than most people realize. This is Dogfight Docs. Let's get into it. Game Changer 1. Hypersonic flight as the new baseline. The F-47 is designed to exceed Mach 2. Impressive. The SR-71 flew at Mach 3.2 and held records for decades. 7th generation starts where those numbers end. Sustained hypersonic flight above Mach 5 is not science fiction. It is an active research priority with documented programs. The United States has been developing hypersonic weapons, including the Hypersonic Attack Cruise Missile. China has demonstrated hypersonic glide vehicles. Lockheed's Skunk Works has publicly discussed the SR-72 demonstrator concept, targeting speeds around Mach 6. At Mach 5, an aircraft covers a mile every second. Reaction times for human pilots and air defense systems compress into fractions of a second. Speed itself becomes armor, exactly as the SR-71 proved operationally for 30 years. The engineering challenges are real. Sustained hypersonic flight generates temperatures that destroy conventional materials. But the research is funded, the programs are documented, and the trajectory points in one direction. 7th generation fighters will not cruise at Mach 2. They will cruise at speeds that make Mach 2 look slow. Before we get into the next few game-changing tech, hitting subscribe genuinely helps this channel create more content like it. It costs you nothing and takes 2 seconds. Thank you. Back to it. Game Changer 2. Stealth across every spectrum. The F-47 pushes stealth further than any fighter before it. Broadband radar cross-section, reduction across multiple frequency bands simultaneously. 7th generation goes further still. Modern air defense does not rely on radar alone. Infrared sensors hunt heat signatures. Acoustic detection picks up engine noise. Electronic intelligence monitoring locates aircraft by the emissions their own systems produce. Each of these is a separate detection pathway that conventional stealth does not address. 7th generation concepts target all of them simultaneously. DARPA funds ongoing research into advanced materials designed at the molecular level to manage signatures across the full electromagnetic spectrum. Plasma stealth, using ionized gas to absorb radar signals, has been a subject of documented research since the 1990s. The practical implication, an adversary with radar, infrared, acoustic, and electronic intelligence all comes up empty. The aircraft is not just hard to track. It effectively does not exist to any sensor system currently fielded. Game Changer 3. AI that fights faster than any human can react. DARPA's Air Combat Evolution program already demonstrated an AI system defeating a human F-16 pilot 5-0 in simulated air combat in 2020. The AI processed sensor data and executed maneuvers faster than any human could respond. At hypersonic velocities, the reaction time gap between human and AI becomes tactically decisive. A human pilot processing a threat takes hundreds of milliseconds. An AI system takes microseconds. At Mach 5, that difference represents thousands of feet of flight path. This does not mean 7th generation fighters will necessarily be fully autonomous. The ethical and legal questions around lethal autonomous systems remain genuinely unresolved in international forums. What it does mean is that the pilot's role shifts from direct controller to mission commander, setting objectives while AI handles execution that happens too fast for human intervention. That shift in the human-machine relationship is arguably the most profound change 7th generation represents, more significant than any speed specification. Game Changer 4. Directed energy. Unlimited ammunition. Every conventional weapon has a magazine. Missiles run out. The logistical chain required to sustain conventionally armed aircraft is one of the defining constraints of modern air warfare. Directed energy weapons change that equation fundamentally. High-energy laser weapons are not theoretical. The U.S. Navy has deployed the laser weapon system on ships. The Air Force Research Laboratory has active airborne laser development programs. The challenge has never been whether lasers can destroy targets. They demonstrably can. The challenge has been generating sufficient electrical power on an airborne platform. Seventh-generation aircraft concepts address this through advanced power generation architectures tied to next-generation adaptive cycle engines, producing not just propulsion, but the electrical output to operate directed energy systems meaningfully. A fighter armed with a high-energy laser has effectively unlimited ammunition as long as it carries fuel. It engages incoming missiles at the speed of light. It defeats drone swarms without expending physical munitions. It changes the entire economics of sustained air combat operations. Game Changer 5. The space-air boundary disappears. This is the concept that separates seventh-generation thinking most dramatically from everything before it. Current fighters operate in the atmosphere. Space assets operate in orbit. These have always been treated as separate domains. Seventh-generation concepts begin to blur that line. The X-37B, Boeing's unmanned spaceplane operated by the U.S. Space Force, has been flying classified orbital missions for years, with individual missions lasting hundreds of days. Its existence proves the U.S. military already operates reusable aerospace vehicles that transition between atmospheric and orbital flight. A platform capable of operating at the edge of space sits beyond the reach of every current air defense system. Its sensor coverage over a battlefield is continental in scale. Its strike timeline against any target on Earth is measured in minutes. DARPA's investment in combined cycle propulsion, engines that operate efficiently from takeoff through hypersonic and into orbital velocities, is documented. This is early stage, but it is real research pointing in a real direction. Game Changer 6. Quantum sensing that defeats stealth. Every stealth advance creates pressure for a counter-stealth advance. The F-117 prompted lower-frequency radar development. The F-22 prompted passive infrared investment. The F-47's multispectral stealth will prompt whatever comes next. Quantum radar is that next step. Quantum radar uses entangled photon pairs to detect objects in a way that is theoretically immune to conventional stealth, because it is not detecting reflected electromagnetic energy in the conventional sense. When a transmitted photon interacts with a target, its quantum state changes in correlation with its entangled partner back at the receiver. The detection mechanism is fundamentally different from anything stealth is currently designed to defeat. China's University of Science and Technology has published research on quantum radar concepts that attracted significant attention from defense analysts. The practical engineering challenges are substantial, but the theoretical foundation is solid physics. If quantum sensing matures into operationally useful air defense technology, it changes the value of stealth-based survivability at a fundamental level, which is precisely why seventh-generation survivability concepts go beyond passive stealth toward active countermeasures, speed-based survivability, and signature management across every physical domain simultaneously. Game Changer 7. The nation that gets there first. The history of military aviation teaches one lesson with remarkable consistency. The nation that fields genuinely revolutionary capability first does not just win engagements. It reshapes the strategic environment for a generation. America's SR-71 flew for 30 years before any adversary could intercept it. The F-117 struck Baghdad before stealth was even publicly confirmed. The F-22 has maintained air superiority dominance for 20 years against aircraft specifically designed to challenge it. Seventh generation is the next inflection point in that pattern. China is investing aggressively across every technology category covered in this video: hypersonic weapons, directed energy research, AI for military applications, quantum sensing. Their sixth generation prototype activity in December 2024 showed they are not waiting for permission to compete at the frontier. The United States maintains real and significant advantages: decades of operational stealth experience, the most mature AI research ecosystem in the world, Skunk Works' documented hypersonic programs, DARPA's continuous investment in exactly the technology categories that define seventh generation capability. But those advantages have never been permanent. They have to be continuously earned. The nation that understands seventh generation requirements most clearly today and invests most intelligently will define the air power balance of the 2050s. That race is already underway. It has been for years. Conclusion: what the future holds. The F-47 is the most advanced fighter jet America has ever built. Its confirmed capabilities are genuinely extraordinary. And in the research facilities where what comes after is already being explored, engineers know exactly what makes it look like a starting point. Hypersonic speeds that compress tactical reaction times to fractions of a second. Stealth that hides from every sensor simultaneously. AI that fights faster than any human. Directed energy weapons with effectively unlimited ammunition. Platforms that blur the boundary between air and space. Quantum sensing that could make conventional stealth obsolete. And a race to get there first that will determine who holds air power dominance for the next 50 years. Every one of those game changers has documented research behind it. None of them is operational yet. All of them are moving. The 7th generation fighter is not a distant dream. It is where the trajectory of military aviation technology is pointing right now. And when it arrives, the F-47 will look exactly like what it is: an extraordinary aircraft from a previous era. Subscribe to Dogfight Docs for coverage that tracks where this is all heading. Drop a comment below on which game changer you think will matter most. I will see you in the next one.